Hello. Welcome to the Lummy Sports Show with Babyface Brian. Babyface, how's it going?
It's going well, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I don't think there's really much to talk about during this slow week before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, there's no news.
I mean, it doesn't seem like the football gods have taken a bigger shit on the Tampa Bay area, but I mean, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Well, with that the Brady news was funny because I thought, I thought it was possible, but I was hoping he'd be back, and I didn't think he'd want to go out on the note that he went out on. But what I was really hoping for was when Schefter and ESPN and all these other sources started reporting it, that he'd be so pissed that he wasn't in control of the message that he'd just come back and play one more season anyways, just to prove them all wrong. And make them look like ass clowns, but unfortunately that did not happen, and the Bucs are now a rudderless ship in the sea of the NFL.
I want to talk about that in a minute. I want to also touch on two other things real quick. I want to get your take that maybe not a lot of people care about. We'll let the numbers build up for our the real important parts. I kind of want to know what your take is on Brian Flores.
I applaud him. I applaud his bravery in doing what he's doing. And I hope that he litigates it long enough for the truth to come out and for the NFL to make some meaningful changes to what they're doing. Because people can say whatever they want. What his allegations against the Giants very clearly are truthful. I mean, he's got the text message.
Now, what about, do you think the thing with John Elway, is that big of a deal? Or is that just a throw-in?
Well, I don't know. And the Broncos have come out definitively and stated that the meeting started on time at 7:30 at a hotel in Rhode Island, and that it wasn't late. And I watched as much as I could because I had a 10 o'clock this morning, but Flores was on Get Up with ESPN, and unfortunately, Mike Greenberg didn't ask him that very specific question, which I would have, which is, what is your recollection of the start time of that meeting, and when did the meeting actually begin? And do you have any proof that the meeting began an hour late? And, because the Broncos have come out and said that it started on time. So, I have no look.
But didn't he say also John Elway was disheveled or whatever?
Yeah, he said that everybody knows they're drunks. Most of these guys are drunks. They self-medicate. Yeah, that's self-medication. But if the Rooney Rule exists not to give token interviews to potential head coaches that are coming from minority circles. It exists so that they're given a legitimate shot. Clearly, the Giants were only interviewing him in person to satisfy a rule. Now, not only are they wasting his time, they're delaying him from possibly pursuing other more meaningful job offers. They already had their mind made up, and they hired the guy that they wanted the very next day without even giving any real consideration to Flores. Looking at Miami and what they're accused of is the most egregious, right?
Oh, yeah.
Tanking for Tua, which he wanted to tank for Herbert. So we see, it's funny because we sit here and speculate on why Flores was fired and that it wasn't justified, which it totally wasn't. He's right. And his example in the lawsuit that he filed of the way Jim Caldwell was handled by the Colts, he's absolutely right. These minority coaches, he has highlighted examples of them being given less leeway than similarly situated white coaches. It's unfortunate, and what the ownership did in Miami is despicable. Offering him money to lose, which impacts him and affects him as a future head coach. What was just done, and they should have he cited as well, to David Culley at Houston this season, is a travesty. He comes in there without the starting quarterback and matches the win total from the previous season when they had a starting quarterback with no weapons. Everybody picked Houston to finish dead last.
Oh, yeah, of course, especially with Watson out.
And so, I hope that he brings about meaningful change in the NFL. I'm fearful that it won't, but maybe it will, and maybe they can get into some uncomfortable discovery request that requires the NFL to turn over some documents that would be, confirm what his suspicions are with a lot of this.
You know they're not going to do that. 973, let's get on the call real quick. 973.
Yeah, I'm just calling from the New Jersey chapter of the Bubba Army to let you know that David Hernandez has passed away.
Oh.
That's tragic.
That stinks.
Yeah, that's awful.
There's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a very nice guy, super fan.
Yeah. We were able to, I met him at the Bart party. That's real sad to hear.
Yeah. Figured I'd tune you guys in. Country Girl 92 posted it on her Instagram, so it's breaking news. It's unfortunate breaking news.
Yeah, we saw it in chat. We just didn't want to lead off the show with breaking news of a death.
Oh.
But no, we're not begrudging you for calling in. We do appreciate it. But our condolences to David Hernandez's family, and he will be missed.
Thank you.
Likewise. Love you guys.
Love you.
Keep it up.
813-90-BUBBA. 973.
Hang up. Oh, is this another call?
A new one.
Oh.
973.
Hey, did you guys see the news on Instagram?
That David Hernandez passed?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very sad.
New Jersey News gets out there. 973-2, same area codes. Yeah, I know, it stinks.
Yeah, that stinks. Well, Caitlin Hatley could save herself for Brandon again next year, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it stinks for David. He was a real nice guy. Thanks, man.
You got it.
I will tell you, when I was in last week and he was calling us from the hospital, I was worried about him. I didn't think that was going to be good for him.
Yeah, I guess he had a failed kidney or something
well,
like that.
Well, that coupled with, COVID is a bad combination.
And I know that topic's not, obviously sports related, but I have a feeling they're going to blame it on COVID, so...
Blame it on it. I mean...
Yeah, but if you have a kidney failure,
But he wasn't going to die from the kidney without COVID. I think that's going to be pretty clear. He was not on his last leg when he was having it's the kidney failure coupled with the COVID that took him out.
Yeah, it's true. Could have been the flu. I'm just kidding,
But
Brian. I don't want to get into that, Brian.
Well, then why did you fucking say it?
I just said that,
No, I don't want to get into it, but I'm going to throw it out there. Dude, you're an idiot.
No, I'm not an idiot. I just didn't think that you were going to,
I wasn't. You did. I was going to leave it be. But then you decided to, with your MD up there, to pontificate on it.
Doctor,
why?
Okay?
Yeah.
What? Doctor of?
Don't even get me started.
Oh, come on, Brian. Don't be a dick.
I'm not being a dick.
Let's go back to Brian Flores. But let me ask you something about that. You got me on a bad mood.
Oh, I got you? You're the one throwing shit out there. I don't want to say anything, but you're probably going to wrongfully label that a COVID death.
See? You keep going on it,
That's
Brian.
what you said. You did it. You did it.
Yeah, because
you don't start no shit, won't be no shit. You familiar with that saying? You could have just left well enough alone.
All right, well...
I feel for David Hernandez regardless of the cause of death.
Yeah.
His family. I feel bad for Bubba because I know David Hernandez was a bitter, and it's sad.
No, but he was a good fan. He was a good listener. He really he wanted to come to a lot of events. He was
just at BARP. That's probably where he caught COVID.
Okay. You don't know that for a fact.
It's possible.
813-90-BUBBA, 813-90-BUBBA. Brian, does this Flores conversation kind of also highlight, which maybe is able to be seen in Nikki Peeled 999, thank you. Is it show, like a lot of people always say that a lot of the teams are tanking toward the end of the year. Do you think every team pretty much does that?
Well, Hugh Jackson just said that he was pretty much offered money to tank by the Cleveland the owner of the Cleveland Browns. So these dirty secrets are going to start coming out, and I say great. If that's what's happening in this league and this stuff's going on, and then bring it to light, because one, you've got betting implications. Two, you've got coaching career implications. This is a high stakes industry that they're playing in. You've got sponsors. I mean, there's so much going on, and for them to openly offer financial compensation to lose football games is a tragedy and a travesty.
Do you think? Remember Lovie Smith with the Bucks against that Falcons when they said, "Well, this shows that Lovie Smith lost it so they could get that first pick when it was like 40 something to like 10, and the Bucks just looked." Do you think that similar thing kind of happened, because he got fired right after that too?
Yeah, I think it happens, and I think it's the trend with this Blaine Gabbert. Oh, please,
fuck off,
Mike.
Mike.
Well, thank you for the $5, but that ain't happening.
They're already searching for a new quarterback.
Hugh Jackson coming out and saying it is confirmation. Then the tampering with Tom Brady. I mean, the owner of the Dolphins outwardly encouraging his head coach to tamper with a player who wasn't able to be spoken to for another month. It just speaks to what these and I think what rubbed Flores the wrong way. If the owner of Miami had just kept his mouth shut and the GM had kept their fucking mouth shut, he probably just moves on to New Orleans or Houston or whatever next stop he's going to end up at.
Yeah, because he didn't come out right when he was fired.
No.
He didn't come out and start talking. I think he saw it as they were coming out kind of burying me, that I'm a dick in the locker room, blah, 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 blah. And I think he's like, they're trying to screw me on getting a new job. Well, let me now... put this shit out there.
Yeah, because they're he's very difficult to work with.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't do that shit.
Especially
you shouldn't do that shit, especially when he wasn't difficult. He told you no, that he wasn't going to cheat. That's what they're mad at about. He refused to cheat twice for the owner.
Yeah.
And fuck, first of all, don't have for 1 second do I have any reason not to believe Brian Flores and what he's alleging. Not for 1 second.
Not after the whole loss. Like that shit kind of pisses me off because one, as a gambler, that really fucking pisses me off. And two, as a competitor, Brian Flores probably went in every single game and wanted to win it.
Well, that's what he did. He never threw those games, and that's why he got fired with a winning record over his last 2 seasons.
Yeah, both times. There was the first time
10-6 and 9-8.
It's since the first time I think since 2003 that they've had back-to-back winning seasons.
Yeah. Yeah, and that wasn't good enough.
No.
That wasn't good enough
because they love Tua.
And David Culley exceeds expectations in Houston, and wins with a 3rd round pick, first year starter, and 4 games, but finds a way to win some games there, and he gets fired. It's not fair, and whether it's, I don't think it's direct racial bias. I think it's implicit. I think that there's just a natural tendency for humans to favor those that they see most like themselves. I don't think it has anything to do with race. I know a lot of people probably would disagree. I see it as he said no so many times, and they said, well, this is not our guy. We need to go get someone that's going to be a yes man. I think fall in line. Find me white coaches that have been fired off of winning seasons. You find me the list of them. Now, I'm sure there are some, but I think they are. Well, I just don't think the Brian Flores one. I think the Brian Flores one was. Did Jim Caldwell deserve to be fired from Indianapolis? No, not at all. And yet he was. And so these are things. Look, there could be truth to what he's alleging. There could be not. It could be false. It could be a misperception on his part. Whatever it is, the NFL's got some issues. I think what really came up, and I hope comes out eventually, is whatever they unearthed in that Washington Redskins investigation. Somebody who could come to Brian Flores' aid here is John Gruden, because he's going to be blackballed from the NFL as well. He's never going to hold a job with the NFL again. Yeah, so he's got nothing to lose. So if he knows some dirty secrets, the shit could come out. Or he goes to them and the NFL starts babyfacing and say, hey, listen, just keep it down and we'll let you back in the NFL here. I mean, could you see that one? I mean, I could see a lot. It's a big money industry and there's a lot of corruption going on. So there's a lot of things that could happen. I'm trying to see about coaches that were fired after a winning season. Yeah, I mean, somebody said Peterson got fired after he won the Super Bowl. Yeah, he went 13-3, then 9-7, then 9-7, then 4-11-1, and then he was fired. So it wasn't like he got fired the season after winning the Super Bowl. He was Marty fired. Schottenheimer. Yeah,
14-2, but yeah, he could never get over that hump.
From Los Angeles.
No, San Diego.
San Diego. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
See,
you've already adapted it into your mind that you have
I said
to say
I wouldn't. I said I wouldn't, and then I did.
Yeah, the time that you didn't have to.
Yeah, the time that it was inappropriate to say was the time. Yeah. So yeah, but he was there for 12, 13 years,
and they could never get past. And they were 14-2.
Oh no, he was only there
division.
1, 2, 3, 4. He was only there 5 years.
That's it.
Yeah.
Who was before him? North Turner, right?
No, Mike Riley. North Turner came after him.
Oh, I'm trying to see. Man,
was Marty actually terminated?
Yeah, he was fired.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Because he lost in a division game. I remember watching that game, and the San Diego, Philip Rivers, LT, Antonio Gates, who else? They had the stud wide receiver. And
then they regressed under North Turner. So
of course, every team regressed under North Turner.
But here, when you fire a coach who's winning, that's what happens, and we've seen it time and again. You have a guy who's doing well, who's not doing well enough, which is why I applaud the Steelers and their hiring and sticking with Mike Tomlin, who's one of the best coaches in football, regardless of what that guy said when he called in.
DJ Brown. He's the one who called.
Somebody saying, well, Flores never made the playoffs. Flores was never really expected to make the playoffs with the roster he had. He overachieved.
He overachieved last year.
And he overachieved this year.
No, but
we knew they were going to be garbage.
No, but I'm saying the year before he overachieved with Ryan Fitzmagic, and they forced him. Remember Fitzpatrick? They were 5-2, and they're like, you have to put Tua in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he's like, I don't really want it.
And they went Tua 5-4 the rest of the way with Tua in there.
And then I think Tua hurt his finger or something, and then Fitzmagic came back, and I think he went 1-1, and then Tua came back because he was forced to, and they missed the playoffs. And then all of a sudden you go into next season, and they're like, oh yeah, they're going to be good. Tua, they're sticking with Tua. Tua's got another year under his belt, and they started 1-7.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, he was forced to play Tua in the last game of the season, and that they needed to win to get into the playoffs, and they got blown out 56-26 by Buffalo.
And it must have been his fault. 863.
Hey man, sorry to bother you. I know I'm Bluetooth Willie, noise making, whatever. Distract me. I didn't know y'all were on. I got two things I want to say real quick. One, here, I'll take you off, puppy. Anyway, one is if I didn't know y'all were on right now because it didn't fire on the Bubba Army deal. I didn't know if that's something y'all were doing on purpose or not. But anyway,
bar's not working.
No,
right
bar's
now.
back up.
Oh, it's back up.
Yeah.
Okay, well there you go.
Yeah, see, I didn't know you guys were on. But anyways, I don't know how long you've been on. Anyways, I know Lummy, you talk about Josh Freeman and stuff. You got to hang out with him and things. But if you sit back and think about who is your guys' favorite quarterback or favorite NFL player that you can remember and why, and I kind of got mine. Mine was Jerry Rice, because I just remember seeing him go from team to team, catch ball after ball, and he wasn't the biggest, but he was short and fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to see what y'all thought.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear about what Brian's take on that is.
My favorite football player to watch of all time.
Yeah,
to watch actually play, just to watch him catch the ball or run the ball and just destroy.
I mean, I loved watching Brady and Manning whenever they played, because it's just you're watching two of the greatest. They're different and they're great in each their own way. Pre-snap versus post-snap and everything. It was we were blessed to see that level of quarterback play, and we'll probably never see it again. Between those two and Roethlisberger and Breeze and Rodgers and all, that golden era is coming to an end. Really, Rodgers is the last of them playing, and then we're gonna have these. It's gonna be a different type of quarterback, right? The Mahomes, Allen, Burrow type of
kind
QB.
of a run and gun. Maybe I can run a little bit. I don't have to run 20 yards, but if I can run the 4 to 5 and get the pass off before the line of scrimmage or something.
Yeah, a lot more out of the pocket. Hopefully smarter moves than what Mahomes did in the second half in his game. Yeah. Fucking idiot. Talk about blowing. Burrow didn't win Cincinnati that game. Mahomes lost that game 100%, and prevented me from going 2-2 in my predictions. But that's okay.
Lummy.
Mike Allstott. Being a Bucs fan.
Yeah, he was a lot of fun to watch.
Growing up, because back when Allstott was drafted in 94. 95 or 94, 95. We had to listen to Gene Deckerhoff, and Gene Decker, because we weren't on TV much because we didn't sell out, but Gene Deckerhoff made every run that Mike Allstott did sound like it was the most incredible run that you've ever seen in your entire life.
Bucks hand the ball in the backfield to Allstott. Allstott breaks to the right. He lowers his shoulder. He gets in. He gains a yard and a half on the play.
He was to the 40 and a half for the 40. Yeah. So yeah,
I mean, the horn and everything for Allstott.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
Yeah. All right, man. I'll let y'all go enjoy the show. I'm going to enjoy the show. Y'all
take it easy.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Allstott was.
But yeah, I mean, Schottenheimer shouldn't have been fired. That was a unique situation. Now look at Mike McCoy. He comes in, takes over a team that was flounders, 4-12 with Herbert his rookie year. No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking. I'm looking at the wrong years here. But you'd want to talk about a coach that underachieved this year. The coach for Los Angeles Chargers underachieved this year.
Yeah, well, didn't they just fire? He's first year, right?
Who?
The Chargers coach.
I think in his second.
Is he? Because I thought Herbert's first coach was fired.
Was he?
I thought so. Because I think he was an African American. I think he got fired and they hired someone else in, which puts a point on you, which obviously doesn't, I mean, I'm not disagreeing. I just don't think at this point it was a racial thing on Flores. Now, the other coaches, I do agree with you.
No, the Dolphins firing of him wasn't, but the Giants thing was absolutely racially motivated. The Broncos thing, the Giants thing may not have been directly racially motivated, but a sham interview of him where he is led to believe that he has the opportunity to get a job that they have already made a decision on, and they're only interviewing him in person because they are required to do it under the NFL Rooney rules, is not in the spirit of the rule. It's actually a violation of the NFL's rules by the letter of the law, and so that's the issue there. And then the Broncos one was suspected to be much the same thing, that they had already decided who they were going to hire, and it was being done as a token interview because they were required to do so. So Brandon Staley is the coach, right? I think of Los Angeles, and he was in his first year.
Yeah, so they fired the guy last year that had, which, by the way, last year San Diego looked pretty damn good. I mean, he was already dealt a hand where the first game of the year, Tyrod Taylor, who has the worst luck, that's my boy Teddy Bridgewater, but he has the worst luck of getting a starting position and then getting either hurt or, something happening. And, they had to stick Herbert in, who didn't even game plan and went out and just, I think San Diego or LA overachieved last year.
Yeah, it was Anthony Lynn was the coach, and yes, he was black, and he went 9-7 in his first year, 12-4 in his second. That was with Phillip Rivers. Then they went 5-11, and then they improved to 7-9 with a rookie quarterback starting, and then they said, "Okay, we're done with you."
Yeah, he 5-11. Came back with a 7-9 with a rookie quarterback that was thrown in there
after your franchise quarterback, retired and shit the bed. It was no good the year before. Yeah, semi-retired.
And you got somewhat of a decent draft pick. You guys take Herbert, come in. You guys almost have a winning record. You play a lot of close games. We're going to get rid of you and bring this other guy. So I think the expectations of the Chargers, which I think they should have stuck with Anthony Lynn, right? Is that his name?
Yeah.
They should have stuck with him this year, and then obviously if
they got what they deserved. They didn't make the playoffs. Exactly. And everybody was expecting them to, and they didn't do it. And so, look, it's you got to give these coaches more time, number one, in the NFL, and number two, it's just unfortunate. Now, I would be interested to see the Lions got rid of Anthony Lynn as their offensive coordinator. Clearly, offense wasn't necessarily the Lions' problem this year. They put up some points. Stopping the other team from putting up points seemed to be more of their issue than scoring points. Yeah. But some of these coaches don't get a fair shake, and it's not in every situation. Understand that. I'm not saying that the best guy doesn't get hired or whatever it may be. Brian Daboll is a good coach by all measures, Brian Flores is a good coach by all measures.
But right now, I don't think he's going to be coaching next year.
Well, and that's what makes me believe what he's doing even more. Because he's in line for there was no way that either this season or next he would not have been a head coach in the NFL.
Yeah, he would have either been a coordinator this year, worst case scenario, and then probably went back to being a head coach next year. Or I think he still could have been a head coach this year. I think that.
I think he was in line for the New Orleans or the Houston job.
Yeah.
I think he had a shot at that. It's just the situation's unfortunate. The allegations are damning to the league as a whole and to the individual franchises. And I'm interested and intrigued to see all of this shake out.
Well, we were talking about Denver. I wanted to say, so did you see, obviously they got the Packers offensive coordinator. Now, it looks like they filled their offensive coordinator position with the Packers tight end coach. And their quarterback coach is now going to be the Vikings' old offense coordinator. You see anything going on here? I mean, they're bringing in another Packers tight ends coach.
I mean, they're trying. I mean, they're positioning themselves to try and make the play. And right now, other than Green Bay, I couldn't see Aaron Rodgers playing for anybody other than Denver this season.
I mean, does this almost feel like, remember when the Bucs were trying to get Bill Parcells?
Yeah.
And then he went and they hired all Bill Parcells' assistants, or, people Bill Parcells liked, and then he left, didn't show up. I feel like this, like they're going to load everyone that kind of would gel with Rodgers and be like, "Hey, buddy,
they're definitely making their play," which leads me to believe that they don't think there's a quarterback worth a damn in the draft.
Well, there isn't.
There isn't, but I think that they're showing that. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. How about the bigger news today, which is Harbaugh leaving Michigan for Minnesota?
Did he sign?
He has not, but but according to reports, he pretty much said goodbye to everybody at Michigan.
Really?
And I think he was staying there out of through today because today was National Signing Day and wanted to make sure he didn't leave Michigan in a worse position.
That's shitty. Because
it is shitty to the players. This is why there needs to be a transfer rule.
Oh, well, there is. Whatever. 704, Brian. I hate that rule. 704.
What's going on, Lummy? Brian Sinstar. How you guys doing today?
What's up, Pinstar?
You calling to talk about Rafa over Medvedev?
Damn it, Brian! I was hoping you forgot about that shit in tennis.
I hit my parlay, man. That 5-setter in the Rams winning. I was happy.
That's nice. Yeah. That did you bet him to win in 5?
Yep, Nadal in 5.
Oh, that had to have a nice little payout. That had to have been like what, plus 1,100?
It was. I'm unable to feed my 2 dogs.
Yeah, that's good.
It was great, and then the Bengals. I had the Bengals, the Rams, and then I had Medvedev. So all was good.
Oh, you had that on a separate ticket, you mean?
No, all the same. All 3.
Well, you lost Medvedev.
Not Medvedev. I'm sorry, Nadal. My bad. Sorry.
Okay, I was going to say.
My bad. Yeah, sorry. No, that was a great match, but it was 3:30 in the morning, and I know you guys hate talking tennis. So
I don't. No, Lummy does because he doesn't know anything about it. So
you are correct, and I'm not going to deny it.
So Medvedev's biggest problem is going to be himself, right? He gets so into his own head and plays like everybody's out to get him. He really needs to figure it out.
In his history, growing up through the ITF and through the challengers and everything, he's had a lot of problems, and he's actually made a lot of accusations at tournaments that have gotten him suspended, either racially, physically. I'm surprised he's made it this far, to be honest with you.
I mean, he's made it this far because he's a great tennis player, but he's not going to become an elite, top-notch guy because he can't get out of his own way.
Yeah, he gets there mentally. Then after his first breakdown, then he calms down. Now, Djokovic is a hothead too, and you saw what he did at the U.S. Open a couple years ago when he slammed the ball, and he had some problems in that U.S. Open beforehand and at the Western Southern Open where Djokovic's temper gets to him too. But no, Medvedev, he beats the bigger players he can because he beats them at their own game, and they try to out-angle him, and he's so long and gangly, and he's such a classic pusher that you just got to hit the ball straight at him, and that's how Nadal corrected that match. It was really fantastic to see.
Well, and yeah, his shot making was incredible. The endurance, I mean, it was a 5.5 hour grueling match. It was pretty impressive. And if that ends up being Nadal's swan song, then it was a good one. It was good to see. Now, what do you think of Taylor Fritz? Do you think he could finally turn the corner and make it as a pro and start to become one of the top 10 guys?
You see Taylor Fritz?
Yeah,
I love that. He's only American that I've actually known that plays tennis now.
There you go.
Hey, look at that! I'm back.
He's ranked number 20 in the WTP rankings or the ATP rankings.
He's another one that loses his temper too. But his mom was a pro tennis player. He has Paul Annacone as a coach now. He's making the strides and he's grinding out matches. Before, he was like a front runner. If he didn't win the first set, he was done for the match. The American I really like personally is Sebastian Korda. It's Nelly Korda's brother and the other Korda sister. Their father won the Australian Open in '99. That kid is going to win about 2 or 3 Grand Slams. That's the next American to win a Grand Slam.
Yeah, and be the first American man since what? Sampras?
Andy Roddick.
Andy Roddick got his one, yeah.
2000, with that hat on backwards. What was that? What kind of hat is that? All the college football coaches with a visor backwards.
Now, I think the next great is going to be Felix Aliassime. I think he's got everything physically. He's only 20 years old. I think if he can start to put it together, he could become the next. Because right now, none of the guys that are there, that you're not going to see a Djokovic, Nadal, Federer type from the group that I'm seeing out there, where they just dominate the game.
Tsitsipas doesn't have it. Medvedev mentally. Zverev could sometimes, but then he gets in his own head, and his second serve just doesn't. It's too long and gangly and not in compact. He doesn't really have a great second serve. But FAA is definitely one that, to me, is going to be like the next one to contend with. But also Carlos Alcaraz from Spain. I saw him up in Winston-Salem, and you know how when Bo Jackson was coming into the league, they said they could tell he was different by the way the ball came off his bat. Yeah. When this kid Alcaraz hits the ball, it sounds like a shotgun. I've never seen anything like it besides Nadal, when Nadal was like, 2005 or 6. But Alcaraz is another one. He's 19 years old. I think he made it to the quarters and lost to Berrettini from Italy. So,
well, it's good stuff. Time, it's interesting to find. What makes it kind of exciting. Greatness is fun to watch, but at the same time, having the same 3 guys win the Grand Slam every single year on the men's side got a little bit tedious.
And sprinkle in a little Andy Murray and Stan.
You get the occasional story of the guy that came in and did well, but for the most part, it's been the same 3 guys since 2007. It's been nuts. There's been no parity in the men's game at all.
Nope.
And
unlike
so that
the women's game,
which has been complete parity, except for when Serena decided to focus on tennis, and when she did that, she dominated.
I don't consider Serena the greatest of all time, me personally, but that's just me.
Who's the greatest female, Steffi Graf or
Steffi Graf is
Margaret Court?
No, not Margaret Court, but Steffi Graf to me is just because she got 22. She did it in a shorter period of time against better opponents. I know Steffi's got the longevity. Better
opponents. See, this is where the women's game is tough to judge, right? Because better opponents is relative. Steffi Graf was beating opponents that appeared to be better because they were so much better than women ranked 50 to 100. But now you've got way more parity in the women's game. And so a woman who's ranked number 50 now is probably every bit as good as a woman who was a top 15er in Steffi Graf's day.
Yeah. And it's kind of, to me, the Serena to Steffi comparison is kind of like the LeBron to Michael Jordan comparison in my book, because of how physical the game is, the equipment's changed.
Well, listen, Hinstar, I hate to cut you off, but if we don't stop talking, okay, you can ask your question, but if we don't stop talking tennis, we're going to get canceled.
I was letting you guys go. I was going to ask him, where he thought Kellen Courier is going to be. Is he going to be a number 1 tennis player too?
Hey, my question is about the Rooney Rule. I just feel like the rule itself is just disingenuous, just because. You should be. I just can't imagine that there's this much racism in the NFL. But then, if there is, and it's ugly, it's disgusting, we should get rid of it. People should be held accountable. but then what's the end game? What percentage makes people happy? I just feel like in the NFL it's so competitive that there's never going to be a consistent number to land at. Like, what's the baseline?
I don't think you ever want. I don't think you ever want quotas. But what you see in the NFL is implicit bias, and so that's one of the points that Flores raises in his lawsuit is that all of the owners in the NFL are white, with the exception, I guess, of Jacksonville's owner. But they're all essentially white males. With females that inherited the team from their fathers. So,
Benson.
Or wives that inherited from their deceased husbands. So the idea is just that, there is a natural human instinct to prefer those that are the most like you. It's not to say that people are racist at all. It's just to say that exists. So acknowledging implicit biases can be uncomfortable, and it can be something uncomfortable to talk about, but being aware of them and then trying to work through that and find solutions that work. And that's all he's looking for, is like somebody like him. If the Dolphins, what he wants is in the future, if somebody like him is to get fired, right, the Dolphins should have to give a reason and not be able to, behind his back, badmouth him and disparage his name.
Yeah, 100%.
If they truly believe it, make it public, stand behind it, and then face the repercussions of a defamation lawsuit if you're lying about what he did.
But that's how every job is, though.
Yeah, but not every job is as high stakes as being a head coach in the NFL.
Hold on, but Brian, I know, but what I'm trying to say is that if you didn't do anything wrong to get fired, and all you did was, and they come out at you and tell you how bad, of a job you did, and that's actual complete bullshit. You know what I mean? Like that, it works both ways too.
Yeah.
But Data Rose 999. Thank you, Hinstar.
Thanks, Hinstar. Hey. Take care, buddy.
Well, actually, with the Rooney Rule. And kind of what you're saying with the owners. I mean, sometimes, the owners are kind of hands off. I mean, usually it comes down to maybe the president, because obviously John Elway is not, obviously now the Broncos are up for sale, but it kind of comes down to the GMs and the presidents, you know what I mean, and how they want to fit into the organization. I mean, are you saying that those guys are kind of looking at like...
No, I'm saying the owner has the final say. It's not.
But some of the owners,
GM.
No, but I'm saying the owner of Seattle isn't really, he's believing in his GM, because you got like those. I mean,
but look at the composition of the GMs too.
True. Well, no, I know that they hire. What I'm saying is they hire guys like that, and obviously the GM's going to hire it, like along that way. I mean, don't you think? Is there a Rooney Rule for the GM?
The Rooney Rule applies to all
hires,
all front office positions in the NFL.
Right. Yes. I didn't know if it was just coaching.
No, it's all front office positions. It's specifically to coaching, but there are requirements for all front office positions.
You kind of you don't really hear about like GMs or anything like that kind of have that problem either.
You do if you read the Brian Flores lawsuit. It's in there.
I haven't read the Brian Flores lawsuit. I mean, obviously, I read just a little hib, on ESPN. But now, I mean, talking about the Rooney Rule, what the hell's going on with Leftwich with Jacksonville?
What do you mean? He was announced and then he wasn't.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think you can say African American.
Well, I think what happened is they interviewed him right away, and then all these other coaches, kind of came into the mix that weren't available before. So they may have been full ready to hire him, and then Fangio and Flores and these other guys become available, and they're like, oh, wait, maybe we should take a look at these other guys first before we go making any decisions on a guy who's not been interviewed by anybody else at this point.
That's true. Well, I mean, weren't they going to hire his buddy who used to play too from the Cardinals, the GM? Weren't they preparing? Crap, what is his name?
Carson Palmer?
No, he was a defensive player.
Oh, I don't know who you're talking about.
Oh, really?
No.
Damn it!
You gotta come up with names when you're gonna drop them.
No, but you're usually there to like kind of.
Yeah, I got nothing on this one. I don't know who they were looking at as GM in Jacksonville. He played with him in Arizona.
Yeah, he was a big time cornerback or free safety or safety.
I don't know.
Damn it! It starts with an A. Adrian Wilson.
Oh. Okay.
It says Adrian Wilson set to become the next GM of the Jaguars. He works for the Cardinals now, and he's big on Byron Leftwich, and then everything else, I guess.
I mean, typically you have the GM hired before you hire a head coach because you want the GM to be on board.
Well, yeah, they're both like kind of partnered together.
Yeah.
So that's maybe that's what held everything up, is that because he's not a GM, Adrian Wilson. Well, you don't even know the story. Adrian Wilson, Byron Leftwich picked him to be the GM for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So Byron Leftwich, once that news came out, is when Jacksonville pretty much kind of went cold on.
Okay, so what you're saying is that the fact that Leftwich was going to bring him in, but see, very rarely do head coaches bring in GMs.
I know that's
bizarre. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand that.
It said Leftwich reportedly helped handpick Wilson for the general manager role, as he is under the same mindset Byron Leftwich. And then that article came 2 days before they just were like, we're not made up on Byron Leftwich. Because I remember when the news broke, it was Byron Leftwich is the new coach of the Jaguars.
They said Adrian Phillips is his name.
No, it's Adrian Wilson. Reports Adrian Wilson could become new Jaguars GM.
Oh, well, Nick Carcia is wrong then.
Sorry, Nick. You're wrong. But has there been any news out of Jacksonville? On like who?
No, it's
think?
been quiet ever since I literally got an ESPN alert that said Leftwich is going to be the guy, and then that went away. So I don't know what's going on there.
I think that's kind of weird.
It is really weird. It's kind of bizarre. I don't know.
Because that kind of hurts the franchise at this point. Like you're not even like at least a lot of other teams are sitting there, and like they're talking about like Jim Harbaugh will go to the Minnesota Vikings, which we didn't even get into that one. I mean, let's go back to that one real quick because we didn't really get to finish.
Yeah, I think it's crazy that he's leaving, if that is true, which it sounds initially like it is. But if he is in fact leaving Michigan, that's good. I mean, that's like you've said before. He worked so hard, and they hung with him so long. Yeah, and then he fucking cuts bait the second he has a good season for them. It irritates me. It's in line with the Harbaugh family, and the way they comport themselves. They're always out for themselves, which is why Baltimore is struggling so mightily. But it's irritating to me that he would do that to the university that stuck by him. I mean, they
could have fired him after year
easily
5.
Because let's face it, college is a little bit different than the NFL. You don't get fired in college just because you had losing seasons. You can get fired in the college game when you have all the resources, tradition, and history that a school like Michigan has, and you underachieve.
Mm-hmm. And according to them, he was underachieving, what took him 5-6 years to beat Ohio State.
I have something in my throat. Yeah, no, he lost every single time until this season.
Yeah.
So, 7 years it took him to beat him.
And most coaches in Michigan got maybe 5 years if they couldn't beat Ohio State.
Yeah. I mean, and what's funny, too, is he didn't really do too well at Stanford. I mean, he took over a mediocre team, and he was lucky enough to have Andrew Luck as his quarterback for one season there and go 12-1.
Tyrone Willingham kind of, he left him a little bit.
No, he was 4-8, then 5-7, then 8-5, then 12-1, and then he left and he went to Michigan and did okay, 10-3, 10-3, then 8-5, then 10-3, then 9-4, then 2-4, and then 12-2, and then he cuts and runs. So, it's we'll see what type of coach he is.
Well, don't you think it's kind of weird that they if he was really wanting to get back to the NFL, that he almost didn't take that Chicago job?
Oh, I don't blame him for not taking the Chicago job.
Really?
Yeah. No, Minnesota's in a better spot to win now.
No, I understand that. Well, I guess if he's looking that way, he's
looking like he wants to win and not be called a joke from jumping back from college and not making it. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, no, I see that. I mean, but Chicago. I mean, like you said, Chicago has a really good defense,
and I know he started his career there and all of that. Look, I get all that. Yeah, they have a good defense, but what are you going to do with that offense? Would you rather take over Minnesota right now or Chicago?
No. Do you keep Kirk Cousins?
you've got options, right? You've got trading partners. The Bucs could use a quarterback like Kirk Cousins. You're gonna have options, and that's the nice part about being there is you've got some flexibility in Minnesota, but you've also got a team that can put up wins, especially if Aaron Rodgers does get traded from Green Bay. All of a sudden, Minnesota has a chance to be the front runner in that division.
I don't think with Jim Harbaugh, but I want to talk about that Bucs thing next. 561. Hello.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
Daniel, what's going on?
Hey, Daniel, thanks for your $9.99.
Hey, you're welcome. Just listening to the show. I caught most of it about the Dolphins, so I've dealt with them. The Greers are good people. Like the GM, he's black. Chris Greer, of course, is. I worked with his father when he was at Houston, and I don't know if you know this for trivia, but his brother Mike Greer actually played hockey for the Oilers. So they're good people. So I think Flores was the problem. I mean, just from the people I spoke to. I mean, I have friends on the team, and he. Like I said, I think I told you guys, I think at the Bart party, or I spoke to someone, I said that what happened to his firing will make sense with what happens to Deshaun Watson. Like if Deshaun Watson comes to Miami, then obviously that was Ross's guy, and if Tua stays, it has to do with Tua and Deshaun. I think that's where the fallout
But Tua
happens.
Was never Flores' guy. Yeah. He didn't want Tua to begin with. The reports are he wanted Herbert, and he was forced to pick Tua. How is Flores the problem when he's winning games? How is that the problem? He was winning games? I just don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all.
It's attitude. It's just,
Yeah, because he wouldn't cheat like the owner wanted him to cheat. He wouldn't tamper with Tom Brady. He wouldn't throw games so that they could get a higher draft pick in 2019. I don't believe the owner. Brian Flores has everything to lose in this situation. Everything.
Agreed.
And so for him to put those accusations out there, if they are false, he's a psychopath. I don't think that's in the NFL ever I don't think that's the case. I think he's absolutely telling the truth on this. The owner of the Dolphins is a scumbag and wanted him to cheat.
That I can agree with. I'm not a fan of Stephen Ross. I think the problem in Miami, the reason they don't win is for a while he was, when he signed Sue and that, he wanted to be like the Heat. He wanted to get the flashy players in. That's the problem sometimes when owners think they know more about the game than the people running it. It's unfortunate. Like I was talking to someone today about Jacksonville, how the GM is not well liked in Jacksonville. No one likes Trent. So as you can see, Byron Leftwich won't take the job. Like they can't get anyone to coach that team. Unless anything's happened between this morning and today. I think the Jags are going to have a hard time getting a head coach because the GM is impossible to work with. I mean, he's the one that fired Jim Harbaugh. So as you can see, the league it's at a very interesting time. I mean, Tom Brady's gone. It's going a different direction. I'd be curious. But like I said, it bothered me all the time, just the lack of black head coaches. Like I was hoping Gerard Mayo would get the job in Houston because I think he's ready to go. That I heard rumors about that because he's got a connection with Nick Caserio from New England. When he played there, he would be a perfect head coach candidate. But again, some of these guys just don't want the jobs because like they're just set up to fail.
Well, I mean, look, David Culley in Houston. Why would you do that to that guy? Yeah. Why?
You gave him a shit, year this year.
Yeah, I mean,
look at this quarterback. You're right.
He had no chance. Look at his quarterback. His number one receiver was Brandon Cooks. Are you fucking kidding me?
And he had a good year, though.
Well, no, of course he did. They got to throw the ball to somebody.
Well, I know. But, who did they have a running back?
It was the worst constructed team. Now, I know that the Jets have had some bad. The Houston Texans offense was the worst constructed offense I've ever seen in a season, and they still found a way to win 4 games. Are you kidding me?
I thought he was a good coach. That's a Nick Caserio move, I think, because like I said, Nick was in New England for many years, and Nick is he's a really good employee. Like when he was in New England, like he would do the workout. So if a player got called for a workout, like on a Tuesday, Nick would be the one playing quarterback. And Nick's very actually close to Josh McDaniels. They're best friends. So Nick didn't bring Josh to Houston, which would have made sense because, like I said, Nick and Josh are very close, but. One thing about Nick's a weird GM. He wants to actually be in the head coach's headsets during the game. Like Nick is just very controlling.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
He's good at what he does. Well, that's why I thought Mayo would get the job because Mayo, being a new head coach, would
go for it. Yeah,
would be like a co-head coach, and that's the thing. There's a lot of problems with a lot of the owners. A lot of the owners, like I said, don't know what they're doing. The Cons in Jacksonville are a perfect example. I mean, they put the team and it's always in bad hands. I mean, I feel the ones that really get robbed are the fans. because the fans deserve better. There should be a better product on the field. But as you guys know, the NFL is all politics now. Lummy's got something that have you guys gone over the document I sent you, Lummy? Were you able to go through that as a show? I'm a little behind. So,
no, not yet.
Oh yeah, so the NFL, just so you know, have for the combine. You used to be able to ask players questions like whatever you want. Most of it was psychological. Some teams would bring a drill sergeant in just to ridicule. And some of the questions the teams would answer. My favorite one is if you went to bed, like what would you rather have if you could only have one, a pillow or a blanket? And to this day, I don't know the right answer. And they'd ask the player that, and the player would answer and be like, did I get it right? My response would be, I have no clue. So apparently the questionnaires now for they're going to take away draft picks and fine teams extensively for asking questions that you can't ask any more difficult questions anymore. Like they basically want the teams to softball the players in these interviews, and they're going to be monitoring them, so they can't offend the player now. It's very odd the direction the league's taking it. Like you can't ask a player if he has a gun. Just other things about did you marry your baby's mother? If you did, why not? You can't even ask that anymore. You can't ask about.
But you can't ask those questions in a normal job interview, though. Like you can't. I can't ask somebody if they even have kids. So they've already get to intrude into these players' lives more than most employers would be able to do so. And I understand that it's a high risk, there's a lot riding on these decisions. But I don't see necessarily a complete and total problem with trying to look into that a little further. Like look into the questions that are being asked. Did we lose him?
Hello?
He must not have liked what I had to say.
I may have dropped. Hello?
It's gone. Well, he was a good caller. Feel free to call back in any time.
No, that was Daniel Rose, Matt Riddle's agent.
Oh, okay.
503? Is this Daniel? Hello?
Off the air, Mom, take it off the air.
Off the air.
Okay. Brian, hold on.
Yeah, I'll run the show while you're gone. It'll just be like normal. So the other big news, I guess, in the football world that could be emerging here in just a hot moment is the Pro Bowl game. I kid, of course. Nobody gives a shit about the Pro Bowl. What are the Bucs going to do with their quarterback situation? That's what we in Tampa care about. I know a lot of you may not, but Tom Brady retiring is a pretty big deal. So we'll get into that in a minute with Lummy. And then also, we've got a new football team in the NFL, the Washington Football Commanders.
Sorry about that.
Could you have gone with a more boring mascot choice than the Commanders? Team name, the Commanders.
Brian, we have your favorite caller. Sorry, I had to take that off the.
We don't need to do little. I started a conversation. Put him on hold. We're starting
Brian,
a new conversation.
Go fuck yourself. I love you. Hey, I just wanted to check in with you guys and figure out why Joe Burrow is going to lose the Super Bowl.
Joe Burrows is not going to lose the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow's S stands for Super Bowl champion.
That S on the end of his last name that doesn't exist stands for sucks ass.
He doesn't suck ass. He's better than Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, because
he's shown that already.
He's currently in the Super Bowl, and Lamar Jackson will be watching him at the Super Bowl.
Well, Lamar Jackson's never making it back to a Super Bowl,
never
by the
will
way.
Be, as long as he's
never been
Baltimore.
there.
I
I don't know why you say he's...
Well, he's never making it. Sorry, he's never making it to a Super Bowl.
He's
attended it. What about the Tom Brady Instagram story saying, "You're next"? I think the GOAT called another GOAT out.
What's that?
Huh?
Tom Brady put on his Instagram story a picture of him and Lamar after Lamar beat him in Baltimore and said, "You're next," with the GOAT emoji.
Yeah, he was trying to be nice. It's
he probably wanted to sign him to one of his many companies he has.
It's nice.
A lot of people like you loved Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, it was a nice move by Brady. It was a nice gesture.
Yes, it was. Good job. Good job, Brady. Way to be a smart businessman.
He's lessening the racial diversity after the whole Brian Flores thing. He's trying to fix that for the NFL.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just wanted to say rest in peace, David Hernandez. Wish his family well.
Could you imagine finishing last in the AFC North behind Cleveland? How embarrassing.
It is pretty
embarrassing.
Yeah, I
know. Could you imagine being the front runner in the entire AFC and then your quarterback goes down on top of the other fucking 17 injuries you had?
What was the record when he went down? What was the record when he went down?
What was it?
He was 8-4. Sorry,
8-4.
They lost. They were 8-3, lost to the Dolphins, and then he went down against the Browns. That was 8-5, and then they lost 4 more straight. So yeah, sorry, I forgot he was hurt for the rest of the year and didn't play on a play that he wasn't even running on. He was trying to escape because our offensive line sucked.
So they were 8-5 in games he started. They were predicted to. A lot of people had them predicted to win the AFC or at least be second.
I think we made a bet off the air back in the day that the Ravens would have a better win.
Yes,
than
we did.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You did it. What? It was $100 a win difference, right?
No. Yes, thank you, Brian. Brian, you know what? Yes, you know what? That is actually 100% true. Thank you, Brian, for having my back there.
What was the what was the Rams or fucking Buccaneers? Sorry, I'm driving. What was the Buccaneers' final record?
13-4, tied for best in the NFL.
Oh, and where are they this week?
Oh, it doesn't matter. We're talking about the Ravens and the Bucs right now.
They still won more playoff games than Baltimore. Yes. They played in 2 more than Baltimore.
Yeah, but where are they during the Super Bowl? They're both going to be watching from the same place, right?
Sure, but we were talking about who had a better record. So
yeah, all right.
Yep.
Purple jersey,
little purple. Keep that Tesla good. See you, son. Look at it. I like how they always try to change that. Like, the
your
team sitting on the bench.
That's not what we're talking about. Don't distract from the real issue.
Exactly. Because look, sorry, it is what it is. Now, I want to get into the Tom Brady thing, but without the Tom Brady thing, obviously retired. We all know that. We both expected with him in his competitiveness. Like you said, I thought the same thing you did. Where ESPN pissed him off, where he was going to say, "Nope, I'm coming back." Quarterback position, I guess it's already been reported that ESPN is saying that the Bucs are like searching for a new quarterback. Obviously, Blaine Gabbert's not their guy, and Kyle Trask.
But this isn't news. This isn't breaking. Of course, they're fucking looking for a new quarterback.
No, I know, but the ESPN.
We're gonna go with the rookie who's never fucking played us.
Blaine Gabbert sucked at every team.
Come on, of course they're looking. That's not news.
I know. Well, it's on the top headlines.
I know because I guess it's a slower news day. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, so I was gonna say. Obviously, a lot of people say Jimmy G. The Bucs may trade for Jimmy G.
No, God, no. Hells no.
The next one's going to be...
The one thing that's absolutely right, and that Jeff Garcia does look like a misogynistic asshole about, is that the San Francisco Giants were winning in spite of Jimmy Garoppolo, not because of Jimmy Garoppolo.
49ers.
I'm sorry, the 49ers. What did I say?
The Giants.
The San Francisco Giants. The 49ers, sorry. I've got baseball on the mind. I'm worried that we're going to lose some games this season.
I know. It's getting down there.
But the 49ers were winning in spite of, not because of Jimmy Garoppolo and his terrible play. I've heard that, maybe he'll go play with Josh McDaniel. Please do. Go. I do not, out of all the quarterbacks, out of all of them, including Jameis Winston, that have been named as possible options for the Bucs.
No.
Yes.
No. I will never be a Bucs fan ever again.
If they bring him back?
Yes.
No, I would rather.
Never bring him back.
Here's why. Garoppolo is a boring-ass quarterback to watch. His team is boring-ass team to watch. They've got exciting players. He dumbs down that game so much. His decision-making against the Rams on that last drive was as bad. He might as well have been a college rookie coming in playing his first game. That's everything. That drive alone.
No, I understand about Jimmy
disqualifies
G, but Jameis,
him.
listen.
No, so give me Jameis over him because I would
I
rather
don't see excitement because he does his little shuffle and does all those things.
Let's leave that up to the listeners. Who would you rather have right now at this moment in time starting for your football team? Would you rather have Jameis Winston or Jimmy Garoppolo?
Listen, Jameis is only exciting because 81390BUBBA. Jameis is only exciting because it's a 50-50 shot that he's either going to throw a pick or he'll throw some ridiculously crazy pass or he'll get sacked or break like 5 tackles and pick up 10 yards.
He was looking good this season before he got hurt. He'd completed almost 60% of his passes, 14 touchdowns versus 3 INTs. Sean, he got a real quarterback coach that knew how to ease him into things, man.
Okay, hold on. There's also talks about
give me Derek Carr.
Derek Carr.
Not Teddy Bridgewater, no.
There's a Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy Treadwater. Teddy Treadwater, because that's all he does. You'll be a 500 team for fucking ever with him. At least if James... Here's my thought on Jameis. You ready to hear why? Because the same thing with Jimmy G. You'll be a 500 fucking team with Jimmy Garoppolo. With Jameis Winston, you're either going to win that division or finish dead last. And so you either get a better draft pick and you move on, or you win the division because it finally came together for him.
Now, do you think there's a chance that a Russell Wilson would come this way?
No. But I'd take him, but I don't think he's coming here.
I mean, Deshaun Watson?
I mean, I'd take him, but I don't think he's coming here.
Really? You don't think that they would have enough to trade for Deshaun Watson?
No, because I think Houston wants somebody who has a higher draft pick. I mean, the Bucs are picking, what, the 28th, 29th? So, no, I don't think they want that. And I don't. That's the same reason, 27th. Same reason I don't think that we'll get Rodgers. Same thing.
Well, don't mention Rodgers. We're not getting Rodgers. There's no way. Brian, you are the smartest person in this building at this point.
Why?
There's no way the Green Bay Packers are going to trade.
Not in the NFC. No, if he goes anywhere, he's going to an AFC team, which is why Denver is either going to play for Denver next season or he's going to play for Green Bay. That's it. There are no other options.
I get pissed off when I keep hearing people saying, well, let's go get Aaron Rodgers. No, we're not getting Aaron Rodgers. There's no way.
This isn't a store that you can go and pick up a loaf of bread.
He's not a free agent.
No.
He's deciding, I'm going to retire, stay with here, or I want to be traded. And Green Bay is going to just do what they did with Brett Favre. We're going to trade you to the Jets. He played for the Jets for what, 1 year? And then went and signed with the Viking because he wanted to get traded to an NFC, Central or whatever they are now.
I mean, Rodgers has that option right now. But no, I'm saying but the Bucs won't have him for this season, but Rodgers could take a trade to a team. But the problem is no team is going to trade for him if they don't get to sign him for more than 1 year. No team's going to trade for Aaron Rodgers for one season of Aaron Rodgers. At the time in Favre's career, the Jets were willing to take him on because
they kind of were that 500 team. They were still trying to
get over the hump.
Yeah.
And he might and everybody thought he only had one good year left in him at all, if anything.
And Jets needed to sell some tickets and things like that. And 8-8, but then he went to the Vikings, and obviously that's who he wanted to play with. They didn't want to play with the Jets, but I mean, people just keep saying it. I'm like, oh my God, I can't take that. So let's just focus on who the Bucs may actually
Derek Carr is a possibility.
I think Derek Carr, out of all the ones we named, besides Watson, I know...
How funny would it be, too, if he ended up being the quarterback of the Bucs after you shit all over him at the beginning of the season?
I'm really hoping that Watson would kind of,
come into play, but the problem, again, is draft capital. Here's the problem. The Bucs pick 27th. If they get Deshaun Watson, they're going to pick around 27 again or better next year because him with this squad would absolutely light it up.
Oh, yeah.
And so in order for the Bucs to acquire a quarterback via trade, they need to either include a valuable player, asset, or find a guy who's not top-notch, a second-tier quarterback like Cousins or Carr or one of those guys. They're not going to get Watson, Wilson, or Rodgers with their draft picks.
Okay, how about this? They don't sign a long-term contract. What they do is let's say they just can't reach it with Godwin. They franchise tag him and put him in a trade with their draft picks to, let's say, a Houston, where Godwin said, "Hey, I'll sign a long-term contract." Could that happen? Something like that?
I'm trying to see if it's against the rules in the NFL to franchise tag a guy and then trade him. No, they cannot be traded. There you go.
No? Okay.
I knew it. I knew that you had to guarantee that you were going to be playing them. So there it is.
But is he under control still of the Bucs? Is he restricted free agent?
No, he's not under control.
Okay.
No, because they tagged him last year.
I got you.
So that would have been the 1 year of restricted that I think that they would have had. I think by tagging him, he either becomes unrestricted or you have to tag him again.
You think what about
tagging him again is a terrible proposition too because you're going to way overpay.
Oh, 100%. I was
two
just saying,
tag years in a row on a wideout. Oof.
Yeah, I was just saying that if maybe you could trade him once you tag him.
No, I don't think you can.
You think the Bucs are going to trade or like a free agent? And I know they're not going to, but who would you rather see? Like a free agent, like a Gardner Minshew or Teddy Bridgewater or one of those guys?
It depends what the plan is. If you're going to go with a bridge quarterback, I'm okay with that for 1 year. The problem is you're losing a year where you could theoretically compete.
No, I mean their team. Like everyone's like, "Oh, Tom Brady, Bucks are back to sucking." All right, let's just say you're going to lose Tom Brady, obviously.
Well, O.J. Howard's probably gone. Tom Brady's probably gone.
Okay,
Rob Gronkowski's probably gone.
Yep.
Chris Godwin.
They're in talks of trying to sign him.
Might be gone, but might be gone. I mean,
Yeah.
do you overpay for Chris Godwin right now if you don't have an answer at quarterback? And the answer is no.
No,
You're not going to pay for Chris Godwin if you're not going to have a quarterback in there that can win you a Super Bowl.
That's why I think they're going to try to kind of give him an idea of what quarterback and maybe see if he'll give more of a team-friendly contract.
Yeah, it hurts because Brady would have been a very under-market contract for them if he had come back,
and I think Godwin would have come back.
I think you increase the chances. I think now that the team is going to be in transition. Yeah, Ronald Jones is probably gone. Yep. Fournette's probably gone. So you're going to – we went from having probably very good continuity. Fournette might have even come back on a team-friendly deal for one more season with Brady. The Brady loss has such a ripple effect for the Bucs that I think people are underestimating the ramifications of this. They need to get a solution and have their path forward at quarterback figured out ASAP as possible.
Now, is there someone right now that you see that could possibly be that filler of a big enough player just by either trading their draft picks?
I think Derek Carr could be the guy. I think Derek Carr is who I would target if I'm the Bucs. I think he has it. I think we've seen him. Where I judge a quarterback, look at end of game possessions, right? When you're trying to come back at the end. Derek Carr has led a lot of come from behind victories. He's had a lot of game winning drives on very mediocre Raiders football teams and teams that have faced a lot of adversity. And I think that Derek Carr still has the chance to be it. Kirk Cousins would probably, out of the quarterback options that are available to them and realistic to them, would probably be my second choice, but I don't think that he has the it factor.
There's also reports, and I'm not really high on this one, but Carson Wentz.
No, I don't like it. He doesn't have the it factor. He doesn't have it. And what is it, you ask? It is winning, is elevating the players around you because they believe that you're capable of leading them back. The defense plays a little bit harder. The special teams guy runs a little bit faster down the field because they trust that the guy who's going to have the ball in his hand to win them the game is going to be able to do it. And Tom Brady had it. Peyton Manning had it. John Elway had it. Dan Marino had it, but never put it together. But the trust in the quarterback that elevates all the other guys around him. And Carson Wentz doesn't have it. And that showed. You can't beat the fucking Jacksonville Jaguars the last game of the season. You lose to Oakland and Jacksonville to end your season, then you don't have it.
I think that was a little on play calling too, because they should have just run the ball. Just run it. And I feel like they did try to put it on Wentz's, back. And
I think they were testing him out. Is he capable? Does he have it? And he answered that question emphatically. He does not have it.
Yeah, but I don't think that was the time to try to say, "Hey,
what
Carson,
the time when you're
the game before you need to get in the playoffs?"
The two games, he went 17 for 29 for 185 with one touchdown and one interception. That is pathetic against the Jacksonville Jaguars defense. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And then the game before that, not a whole lot better. He managed that game well, but he had 24 of 31, 255, one touchdown, 2 INT. I'm sorry, that was no, sorry, even worse. 10 of 27 for 148 yards and one touchdown, or 16 of 27. He just doesn't have it, man. He doesn't have it, and so you've got to move on from him.
I was just reading that if they were going to fill do a stop, just a 1 year quarterback, that they would actually consider doing a Phillip Rivers.
No,
I'm just seeing what telling you. You don't think if Phillip Rivers would bring that kind of leadership in the locker room to keep some of those guys?
Is Phillip Rivers looking to play for anybody?
Yes, he actually said he would come back for the Colts when Wentz went down with the COVID and everything. But COVID, he came back.
Right. I think he was because he had the year of experience with. I don't think he's looking to learn a whole new offense and adjust to a whole new team. He was their starting quarterback the year before. I think those circumstances are different. I think the fact that he didn't get signed by New Orleans tells you everything you need to know that he's retired. I don't think he has any interest in playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I wouldn't want him at this point. He's okay, but we don't have that elite back that's gonna hide some of the warts that he's gonna have at this point in his career.
Oh, I guess what I was saying is just reading this out, just real quick. Like, you don't think him coming in with a veteran leadership would almost like give a Rojo or a Fournette like maybe an opportunity to be like, yeah, let's sign one more year. He's a veteran that comes in. I mean, look, Matt Ryan sucks balls, and people still believe in him that he might come back to not being a complete shit bucket.
I mean, the problem with Rivers, his last 2 seasons, 47 touchdowns versus 31 INTs. You just can't have that. You just can't win with that. The Bucs can't win with that. The Bucs don't have the defense that Indianapolis had in 2020 or even last year. And it's just, you can't win with that. No.
In chat, Daniel Singley said, problem is, who are you going to find better than Wentz that's on the market?
Well, I think Derek Carr and Kirk Cousins, I think, are 2 potential ones that will be on the market. And I think they are both better than Carson Wentz.
I mean, I know that they're saying that Josh McDaniel wants to go into Las Vegas and bring his own kind of quarterback and everything.
I could very easily see Jimmy G go into Las Vegas.
That kind of fits his system.
Absolutely. And Derek Carr is,
not.
Is
David Carr's actually a more...
Derek Carr.
Whatever his name is. I don't... Whatever.
His brother was David, right?
And yes, who got sacked a shit ton in Houston. And it pains me because now you're just going to keep throwing in my face how much I hated on him. But I was just really hating on the Vegas because you were just so hyped that they were going to go to the Super Bowl.
I did not say that. I said they were going to compete with Kansas City for that division.
AFC Championship. So I'm saying that Derek Carr, he fits more the style that I feel that a Byron Leftwich and a Bruce Arians could coach up. Jimmy G, like you said, is boring.
Yeah,
and I don't see that.
I think he has more of a live arm. He's got 4 consecutive seasons over 4,000 yards passing. This year is at 4,800. He does need to work on bringing the interceptions down, but he'll have better weapons and better coaching in Tampa Bay than he did in Vegas.
And you got to think too, all the shit that was happening in Vegas.
I mean, it was a nightmare, and he still got them to the playoffs.
Lost his number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah, defense got worse. There was turmoil. There was turmoil there, and he still found a way to win 10 games. He had solid 68.4% completion percentage, 4,800 yards. The picks were a little bit high, so he does need to bring those down. But
is he a sexy enough quarterback to come into Tampa Bay?
He's got beautiful eyes. Have you seen him?
Well, no.
You asked if he was sexy enough.
Well, okay, fine. Is he a big enough name that you bring him to Tampa?
Well, Carr's only 4 letters, but Brady was only 5. So I think, in terms of the length of his name, the size of his name is 1 letter short of Brady.
Is Carr a big enough stud that he's going to attract players to come here?
No, he's not gonna get players to give team friendly deals, but I think he presents the best chance for them to win now out of the guys that are feasible for them to obtain. The guys that are in their market. You could get Derek Carr for your 27th pick, or you could get him, if they move first, if Las Vegas moves first and picks up Garoppolo, then Carr's value there plummets, and so you can get him even cheaper.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense though. Now with Jimmy G going to Vegas, it makes a lot more sense. I don't think really anyone's talked about that either. Jimmy G going to Vegas with Derek Carr getting shot out of there.
I think it's a real possibility. You got McDaniel coming in and wants to kind of. Vegas kind of needs to hit the reset button, right? I mean, they need to move past this terrible, terrible season and start over. So I think that it would make sense for all parties involved for that to happen. Now, how that could go about happening, we'll see. But I think it would be a great move for the Bucs, and I think Jimmy G could flourish in Vegas with McDaniels as his head coach.
With his good looks and him liking to date porn stars.
That's the perfect spot to be if you're into porn stars.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't get much better. The other thing that's good is, Carr's in the last year of a deal. So the Bucs would essentially be trying him out to see how he fits. So they're not locking themselves into a long-term contract, a bad contract. It's much more affordable than Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins is out of his fucking mind. Was he making 30-something million?
35 mil, I think it is. It's a big number. And so, that's painful. But any trade involving Cousins at this point was $45 million this year. $35 million is his dead cap number is 45. His cap number is 35.
Yeah, but you don't think that Jim Harbaugh is going there because he thinks he can probably turn around Kirk Cousins, a veteran quarterback? A little different play calling, offensive-minded Jim Harbaugh.
I don't know what his plans are there. When
he signs, that shit's gonna shock me right there. That guy is just an idiot, and I hope Minnesota loses.
Well, I'm not a fan of the Harbaughs, and just for no real reason. But the problem for him, he's got no first-round pick. So
really.
Do they not? I think they traded. No, maybe they do. They do. Hold on.
They got two good wide receivers. They got a good running back. I mean, their offense is not bad.
Oh, I'm sorry. They picked number 12.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Their defense is atrocious. No, their offense is good.
That's what I'm saying. And he's an offense. You bring in a good defense coordinator. But and
Harbaugh's, his pedigree is more on the defensive side of the ball, but as a coach, his mindset is more of that defense, West Coast offense.
Yeah, like pound the ground, but
yep.
Yeah. But he's out there catching balls, wearing his gloves. Whatever, that guy's a douche.
So who do you think? You've picked my brain. If you were the Bucs right now in this moment, knowing the limitations that we discussed, who do you think
if I was to give my top 3 list, I'd say actually, I think go my top 5. You go after Derek Carr. I think you can settle on a free agent bin, and no one's going to like it, but a Teddy Bridgewater. I think then you try to even look at Watson.
I would go with Minshew over Bridgewater.
Well, he's on my actual number 5. You just try to get a Watson. You look at...
Take a shot on Big Ben? I would take Big Ben over Phillip Rivers at this point.
No, maybe look at Russell Wilson, and then and a free agent just like a Teddy Bridgewater. You go back to looking at a Gardner Minshew.
Andy Dalton.
No, you're not bringing any
Tyrod.
No. He popped in my mind, but he just gets hurt. He's going to come down here.
Mariota?
He'll step on a seashell the wrong way and split his toe.
Mariota?
No, I didn't. No. I want to get rid of that whole Jameis.
That whole draft year? Nobody from that draft year.
I don't want Mariota and Winston. They've all shit the bed. I don't want anything. I mean, you kind of sold me on the Carr thing. I know I hated on him, but I did watch him this year. I think he would fit this system a lot better than a lot of other quarterbacks. I know that Teddy Bridgewater, you don't like him. I think under
it's not that I don't like him. I don't like being guaranteed 7 to 9 wins in a season, and that's what you are with him. He's not a bad quarterback.
He's never been on a good enough team with weapons.
It has as much to do with him as anything else. Okay.
I guess I'm still thinking that it's 2014, I think, when he came out. I mean, when he came out from Louisville, he looked before his knee injury.
Yeah, before he shredded his knee.
Well, yeah. I mean, it wasn't even his fault, though. It was in practice. It's not like he's Tyrod Taylor stepping on a Stingray and injuring himself for the year, day before the game. But, I mean, I think Gardner Minshew would be a good filler quarterback.
Do you know what Teddy Bridgewater's all-time record is as a quarterback? 33-30.
I was going to say, give me how many years, but
71 TDs versus 43 picks.
See, that's not bad though.
I mean, it's less than a 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. That's bad.
But hold on, that's good enough.
You know who has a better one?
Gardner Minshew.
Way better.
I know that. I said Gardner, but I'm just saying.
But I'm saying you want Bridgewater over Minshew, and give me Minshew over Bridgewater.
Because I don't think Gardner Minshew fits the system as a Teddy Bridgewater would. Teddy Bridgewater reminds me more of a Byron Leftwich, which I think that's where the offense is going to get played from.
41 touchdowns versus 12 picks for Minshew in his career.
I know, but I just think he's a different kind of quarterback than this offense is. But I would still love to have him here, and if they could change him into that. I think this offense likes a Kirk Cousins, a Teddy Bridgewater, a Derek Carr. I mean, Jimmy G like you said, he's just I don't even want to take a chance on him. And no Trubisky and no Tyrod Taylor. No.
I mean, Tyrod, I think if you're going to just do a bridge quarterback, I'm okay with him. Fitzpatrick's been getting hurt. Then. Fitzpatrick is coming off injury. He's almost 40. No, you don't start Gabbert. He's awful, man. Yeah, no, Tyrod Taylor's better than Blaine Gabbert.
No, he can't stay healthy. That's the problem, though.
So then you got Blaine Gabbert should be happy then. No, or Kyle Trask should be because they won't stay healthy. But if your choice is Gabbert or Taylor, you're going with Gabbert?
No, I'm going with Taylor. I'm just saying about, who they have on the roster. And, is Tyrod Taylor a free agent?
Yep.
Okay.
He is a free agent. He is free to have.
I wasn't sure if he was still under contract with Houston.
59 career touchdowns versus 25 interceptions. See, that's it. When I'm talking about Bridgewater's numbers being bad, they're worse than Tyrod Taylor's.
Listen, Tyrod Taylor was on Buffalo for a while. I think that, he was on a team that he's good. I think Tyrod Taylor, I was a big Virginia Tech fan. I like Tyrod Taylor. I think that he was always put in a position to fail. And he was always that middle of the road quarterback. And I feel like he's a Teddy. And I think Teddy Bridgewater at the time was on some really crappy teams. Jets, Vikings, Panthers. Who else was Denver? But I know no one really likes Teddy Bridgewater, so hopefully they get someone else. But if they get Teddy Bridgewater, I will be buying a jersey for Brian. Oh, question. What do you think of the shirt you have on or a suit and it's all decked out in a logo or it's like a jersey looking thing? Is that okay? Because I saw a guy in the Chiefs and my wife was asking about that.
Like full of patches?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking douchey too, but it's less douchey than a jersey.
Okay. I know. We were questioning that.
Yeah, it's still a little douchey, but less douchey than a jersey.
What about a Letterman jacket when you're 55 for an NFL team that you've never played for?
That's pathetic.
Okay.
I mean, the fact that here's the challenge is call in and justify it. That's all I want. Just call in and give me a compelling reason how it's not dorky or douchey.
On the jersey?
On any of this stuff, on any of my takes. I'm more than happy to hear a compelling counter argument. But there's no comfortability argument. There's no fashionability argument. There's no utility argument to wearing a football jersey. The only reason is you like to cosplay. You're a little kid and you like to cosplay. And that's okay. But own it. That's all I'm asking. Own it.
813-90-BUBBA. Brian, besides the fact that you love jerseys on adult men, what do you think of the new Washington name, Commanders? I heard you talking when I was on
the Commandos.
Yeah, the Commandos and their jersey that look like the Arizona State football jersey. I mean, their uniforms are horrible.
It's pretty bad. Look, the Redskins. I'm fine with them getting rid of it. It's whatever. I don't get upset over team names. Guardians, Commanders. I don't care. The only problem I have with it is it sounds so generic. It sounds like a name of a football team that would be in an off-brand video game.
Wasn't there
the Washington Commanders versus the New York Admirals? It's not great. It's not creative.
There was an AAFL team I think named the Commanders.
Yeah, it's not a great name. I don't know what else they could have gone with, but Commanders is pretty stupid.
Oh yeah, the San Antonio Commanders in the AAF league.
Oh wow. But it's a generic name. It's a stupid name.
You think there was any pressure on there obviously was.
They should have been like the Warbirds or something. The Washington Warbirds.
Kind of stuck with that whole kind of Native American thing.
No. Warbird like the fighter jet.
Oh,
because military and national capital and all of that right there. The Washington Warbirds, I think, would have been cool.
Well, do you think it had anything? And I know because Daniel Snyder was always saying, I'm never going to change the name. I'm never going to change the name. And then he started thinking about it. You think it's because of those emails? You think the NFL kind of pressured him on that?
The name change?
Yeah, like him, like you have to change the name.
I think that was probably given, as a concession in him being able to stay involved and own the team.
That's what I mean. Like, hey,
sale.
we're not going to release this. I mean, we already got John Gruden. I mean, because you know how much shit they probably have on him. The NFL. I mean, Daniel Snyder is probably the NFL's bitch at this point.
Yeah. It's it's a joke. They're a joke of a franchise. They're going to continue to be a joke of a franchise.
You don't like Riverboat? I like Riverboat.
He's not going to win there.
You don't think so?
No. And that's saying something in such a pathetic fucking division.
I kind of like their quarterback too.
Who? Heineke?
Yeah.
They're first of all, they're going to draft a new quarterback.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Oh, I thought they were sold on him. I mean, I've watched. Hold on. Like during the year, I was watching a lot more games. I had the Red Zone, but I was also watching. I had 3 TV set up. I had the Fox game, the CBS game, and the.
Stop bragging and get to your point.
I was watching. Fuck off 239. What's up?
Hey, I'm just enjoying your show, man. Y'all are very knowledgeable on football.
Oh, thank
Way
you.
beyond my spectrum. I just want to make a comment. I wear a Pat Tillman jersey, Arizona. I'm not an Arizona fan at all, but it sort of represents. He's a hero, man, to me, and I really respect him so much. And I wear that proudly on Sunday, and it sort of makes a statement for me. So.
What's your statement
Brian,
on that,
you're
Brian?
an idiot.
Look, if you wear a jersey to commemorate somebody who's slain, that's a little bit different than wearing a Rob Gronkowski jersey to the football game. So you have your reason for it.
Don't pull no punches.
I'm not pulling punches. I still don't like jerseys, but you said you were never even a fan of his, and you don't cheer for the Cardinals. You simply wear it to honor and memorialize somebody. That's different. A tribute to somebody who's slain and laid down their life in the military is far different than fanboying out to a football player.
Okay, let me write that down in your books, that there is an exception on the jersey. Is that what you're saying, Brian?
A memorial exception, and I'm granting it in like literally this one case. I don't think there's any other.
Okay.
Maybe like a Jackie Robinson jersey in MLB. I could see that, but it's got to be a transcendent person who had an effect and an impact on the game that far outweighs their role in the sport.
10 stars, 1,000 bits.
Okay. All right. Well, I just wanted to clarify that. I feel so much better, Brian, that you
well, I know that you were looking for my approval.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, Brian, I love you on the show, man.
I'll be on Friday morning after around 7:45 or so when I get in, probably by 8 a.m.
Your wit and quickness is much enjoyed.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Bye-bye.
All right, Lum. We're reaching the end of the show here.
Sorry, Hinstar tennis superstar Jim Courier lookalike. Jim Courier signed 1, 2, 3,000 stars.
Wow, and that was obviously a direct thank you for the tennis talk because he's appreciative. Yeah, they should have gone with Warbirds.
4,000 stars.
Washington Warbirds would have been an awesome name, I think.
What on the jersey thing? What if someone dies, like a Leroy Selman died, and you wore the jersey to the game?
To that one game and then never again?
Correct.
Yeah, whatever.
You're giving them a pass?
Like they're retiring Leroy Selman's thing? Yeah.
Yeah, like you wore like an old creamsicle, that kind of hay.
I don't like it, but I'll allow it.
Brian, we're definitely have to go to a game so we can talk to some people on tailgates.
I don't want to get beat up. That's not what I'm looking to
Brian.
do.
I got your back.
Yeah, you'll lum out, man.
No, I will
I don't see you ever getting physical.
I will let them take 1 or 2 swings first.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I got to get it on camera. What if I don't get it on camera?
It's content.
It's content.
Content.
Content. I got to at least get a couple swings in and then be like, all right, I got to have to go protect Brian.
Jersey T-shirts are great for guys that can't afford to be douchey in an actual jersey.
Oh, so Jersey T-shirts are okay?
No, they're just as bad.
What if they're on sale for like $9.99 at TJ Maxx? Is that a no?
That's a no. Jersey T-shirt. Just wear a fucking shirt with the logo on it. You don't have to wear a jersey. Stop trying to pretend you're on the team. You're not. You're just a fat fucking fan watching the game at home. They don't need you to win. You contribute nothing. You're not a part of the organization.
What are you talking about, man? When you're at the Rays game and you ring that cowbell really loud, it helps.
Yep.
Ring, ding, 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 ding.
Ring a ding 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 ding. You got nothing to do with this game. Nothing.
Oh, did you see Big Nasty is retiring?
Why don't you wear fucking fire suits then? Why aren't people going to NASCAR races in fire suits and helmets?
It's a little too hot for that.
Oh, suck it up, Buttercup. It's too hot for a football jersey in September home game at noon at Raymond James Stadium, but that doesn't stop everybody from wearing them.
It's very breathable, by the way.
Yeah, breathable. It's the fucking patches cutting into you, the stitching. It weighs 8 pounds. Give me a break.
Did you see that? That's like the Big Nasty guy. He's announced that he's retiring.
Thank God.
As a fan for
fucking
next year.
Attention whore.
Well, next year is his last season.
He's going on a farewell tour.
He is.
Fuck him. Fuck him.
I forgot to tell you that. Yeah, he announced.
Big Dummy is his name.
That he announced that it's going to be his last year as being a super fan, and he's going to take the rest of the time off and just cheer from home.
You know what? I did see that press release on the Who Gives a Shit channel.
He's a 2-time Hall of Famer.
Oh,
which, by the way,
him.
How the fuck are you a 2-time Hall of Famer?
Because he got in when he lost weight? I don't know. Half of them got in the first time, the other half got in the second time.
I mean, listen, it's Big Nasty, man. He's a big time, superstar.
No, they're fucking attention whores. Just like that loser that you sent a picture of with his face painted up wearing fucking pads.
Full pads and cleats.
Full pads and cleats. He's an attention whore. He's a pathetic guy, and I feel for him. And so was Big Nasty. He was a fat, miserable guy who wanted attention, couldn't get it any other way, and so he painted his face up and went to games dressed up like a loser. And that's fine. That's his choice in life. But he's no different than all these Instagram girls and all these other clout chasers. It's just he did it before there was a fucking Instagram to do it on. They're just clout chasers. That's it. They're just like chasers. They want attention. Attention whores. I'm sorry your life is sad.
Will you write this down in the last game of the year next year? Will you write him a nice tweet?
I'd say it to his face. Thank you for fucking attention whore.
Thank you for your services.
Talk about making it about yourself and taking it away from the players who actually give their blood, sweat, and tears so that you can paint your face up, look like a douchebag, and yell and get on camera. Fuck off.
What do you mean, man? He had a big tongue.
Oh, yeah. For all those Subway subs he took down in 2 bites.
Subway subs? Come on. You lose weight on Subway
Grinders.
Subs. McDonald's.
Yeah, whatever. Big Macs. Anyways.
Thank you, Brian. Next week, right?
Next week?
Wednesday?
It's the big Super Bowl show.
I know.
Where Lummy is finally, after 3 weeks of me asking, going to have all of
I already had it planned for because it's going to be
You better have
the
audio ready. If you have an excuse, I swear to God, Lummy, you're fired.
Thanks. I already have it all ready to go.
You don't think I could blow in a call to Bubba and get that taken care of?
I don't know.
The fact that you don't know should scare you a little.
I mean, I'm going to have to replace you with Big Nasty. I mean, he is going to be free.
Well, hey, it's a free agent. Bring him in here.
Exactly.
If you can get him to host the show with you, then go for it. I'm sure his football knowledge is endless.
What are you talking about? He's going to talk about all the different fans that he's met over the year.
Yeah, that's about it.
No, I haven't.
He's a LARPer. And so he goes to his little fucking fan conventions with the face painters.
My thinking for having the
this guy's overseas, they call them full kit wankers in the UK. And that's 100% right, sir. Full kit wankers.
Well, my thinking is because next week's going to be probably, I mean, it usually is a little slow before the Super Bowl. I mean, we can only break down the Bengals and Rams for so long.
Do you want to fly out to L.A. and do the show from Press Row with me?
I've been kind of looking at our budget.
Can we ask Bubba if we have the funding for that?
Yeah, I was kind of looking at the budget. I think we might be able to ride one of the mopeds out there. You and I.
Like Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah, nuts and nuts. We could probably ride it out. If we leave tomorrow, we could probably make it out there by then. If you're good. I got a tent. I could put it in the back. We could sleep in a tent.
I'll have a tent if I'm riding nuts to butts, if you know what I mean.
Are you? Which one are you?
Oh, whatever I can get, Lummy.
Oh, okay. Hey.
Always.
Hey, when we get to the Rockies, I'll make sure you stay warm.
That John Denver was full of shit.
All right, thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening. Don't forget, Bubba and the crew is back.
Including you.
Yeah, including me. Sorry, I still started thinking about
You thought about my nuts up against your back and how enjoyable of a ride cross country that would be.
I cannot imagine you just talking into my ear, so slow, whispering, blah, blah, blah.
It wouldn't be slow, and it wouldn't be a whisper.
Yeah, and you'd be using your tongue.
I'd be fast yelling right into your ear.
I bet you would be.
You know what, though? If we did ever go cross country, I would want to get a jersey from each city and state that we went through.
Oh, I bet you would. I bet you would. Don't forget, we're live tomorrow, 6 a.m., twitch.tv/the Bubba Army.
And I will be on the big show Friday morning by no later than 8 a.m., maybe a little earlier. And thank you for listening to the Lummy Sports Show, as always.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your night. See you tomorrow morning.